Today really is about a celebration around Juneteenth. It's about investing in community. It's about standing strong around the voice around change and freedom. Today really marks Juneteenth, which is the emancipation of enslaved Africans in the United States. And today we mark that as a celebration, as the rightful day of independence for all people. We've had a remarkable week when you think about the unity that this week in the Supreme Court has brought our folks. And on top of that, to celebrate Juneteenth, and to really have a collective voice around freedom, around people and justice is what this particular event is all about today. You know, as an African American woman, I stand for our people. I stand for the injustice that we have been a part of us, and because of that, I stand for change. I stand for a remarkable way of thinking about policing and rethinking about vulnerable neighborhoods that we serve as the Black Child Legacy Campaign and as Build Black, to be able to think about inclusive economics, to be able to think about health as a priority in our neighborhoods, but also to think about our young people, the need for their education, and the opportunity to help our neighborhoods thrive. First and foremost, we want folks to start listening to the African American community. The social construct around policing has been broken, and it has been broken for many, many years. And we are only asking for the same safety, the same opportunities as is afforded to everyone in this country. And because of that, we're asking for you to listen to us, invest in ways that create healthy communities for us, and help prioritize our health and the economic needs, again, of our vulnerable neighborhoods. And that is going to take all of us, and a really reality in Sacramento and in this region, that you cannot just have policing stand the way that it is. It has to change. And that is okay, because if we were to stand in the way that things were, we would still be back in slavery. And so to have this conversation now on the heels of Juneteenth, and on the heels, like I said, of all of the type of Supreme Courts that have happened around discrimination, around DACA, we need to be able to unify our message around freedom, around our people, and around change for folks that have been vulnerable and over-policed for many, many decades. And so I invite your listeners and your viewers to really think about where policing came from in our nation. It came from the slave patrols. It came from how do you monitor enslaved people. It came from the injustice of breaking up Black families and breaking down our ability to thrive. And because of that, there are specific ways that policing has now been incorporated into current policing practices today. Just the opportunity to have that conversation is part of our reality now. And I don't think that the police should have a carte blanche to do whatever they need to do in communities of color. That is not effective nor safe policing. And because of that, we have to have a critical change in the dialogue and in the practices, and ultimately the outcomes around the social construct around policing in our communities. We know, for example, programs like Healing the Hood of the Black Child Legacy Campaign that has had remarkable impact when it comes to the juvenile gun homicide rate in Sacramento. Part of that is also an economic conversation, right? You cannot have an economy, community safety, if kids are unsafe and they're dying. We've created a strategy and a program that has stopped that in its tracks, that has improved the economy and the safety of those most vulnerable neighborhoods. That is an investment in a strategy around healing and community safety that does not just rely on police practices. It also relies on community. And the opportunity to think about those types of partnerships and have those type of results that, again, lead to safety and better economics for everyone means that we have to come together and talk about policing, and to be able to understand where in budgets we need to be able to cut back to create the type of community safety that really does bring about change in neighborhoods. And so that's part of this conversation here at Juneteenth. Not only a liberation from unhealthy police practices, but a liberation to celebrate, again, almost 100 years since the emancipation of the slaves in Texas, really even knowing 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So thank you.